Hey, what's up, Scott Balkin here with Imagination Creation Films, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Aputure 300D Mark II. At Dollar Shave Club, your blades are a cut above the rest. It's awesome. Zing. Send. Cool. Imagination Creation Films, this is Scott. How can I help you? Oh, hey, Ted. How's it going, Bubby? Uh-huh. 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 Okay, ciao. So I was really excited about this light. As you know, I have been an Aputure supporter for, well, a couple years now. I started with the 120T and then moved up into the 300D and have really loved what Aputure as a company has been doing. It's one of those companies that you can tell they just want to basically kick ass and take names. They just want to keep innovating and learn from mistakes that they make, sure they do, and build better products, get them out there, and put them in the hands of people so they can create stuff. And that's put smiles on their faces, and that kind of behavior puts smiles on my faces. I only have one smile and one, well, I guess you could count, no. So when Aputure reached out and said, hey, Scott, would you like to test drive one of these 300D Mark IIs? I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah. So they sent me out one to test. So Aputure did send this to me, but there was no promises made on anything at all. They just asked that I run it through its paces and do some amazing stuff with it and give them some solid feedback. And so I will be doing that over the next few weeks. We're going to be shooting several different scenes, lighting setups, putting it in different conditions, running it from the battery, not from the battery. We're going to be doing a lot with this bad boy here, but I wanted to give you a first impressions on this because I got to see this at NAB right before it was released, and it was a pretty good eye-opener for me because what you can tell right off the bat is the 300D is what they learned from the 120D and the 120T and what they learned from their light panel class panels that they had before. And you could tell they're learning and improving. So when I first saw this at NAB, I was really kind of impressed with what I saw because you could tell this is a company that learned from what they build and learned from customers asking and saying, hey, I don't like this, or I like this, or what can you do about this? And they've really made some improvements. And I've already started giggling a couple times just because some things are just far easier. And you gotta love that. So let's just kind of break this thing down so you can kind of see what has changed over the 300D. I'll do some B-roll comparison shots of the two side by side. The color probably won't be that good because of the overhead lights. But we'll just kind of go through this thing. So the first thing they've done here is they have redesigned this reflector. And this reflector is much shinier. And clearly, with its light output, you can see how much of a difference it makes. So let's take a quick look at a comparison to light output at 2 meters between the 300D and the 300D Mark II. All right, so one of the tests we're running here is just a lux test. And this is going to be measured right here. This is exactly 2 meters from the source. And we get a reading on the 300D Mark I at 1800 lux. We're going to turn that one off. And we're going to turn on the 300D Mark II. Again, the same spot. We're going to take a reading. And we get 6,000 lux. Now, if you don't think that this is a big deal, It's a big deal. Now, just for giggles, we've swapped the modifier, and we're going to measure. This is the 300D Mark I. We get 3,400 lux. So clearly, the modifier has some seriously increased output. And we're going to go back here. This one is the 300D Mark II, and it has the original modifier on it. And it's 2,600. So you can see right there, that modifier is making a big difference. So let's take off the modifier completely. And see what we get. So with just the Mark I, no modifier. No. Okay, cool. The Mark I with no modifier, 1,700 lux. Here's the Mark II with no modifier. $2,200 lux. So there is definitely a brightness increase here. You've got it from the modifier itself, which is quite shiny actually, and you've got it from the head itself. So as you can tell, this thing really does make a difference in the light output here, but there's also more light output here, but that's just where it starts to get fun. So this unit up here, you can already tell, is made just a little beefier. It's a little nicer looking. The yoke is much better designed than the other one. Even the knob to tighten it onto the C-stand is, well, it's metal now. And it's, well, the other one was kind of a metal, but it just didn't feel as good as this one. This one feels great. This handle up here is quite nice. You don't have to touch a hot, even though it's not really hot, it's more like warm when it's running at full blast, but it's a nice little design up here. Now, they've gone to one box. So this one box takes the place of the two boxes that were in the other one. And it's all in one. You've got batteries on both sides. It has Wi-Fi built in now. So with their app, you're going to be able to control this. It has the same familiar type controls of power and a dim, and then you can select the groupings and such. But here's where it gets cool. So they have this quick release on the C-stand. Well, it's a little clamp that you mount to your C-stand, and then it goes onto the back of the unit. So you can just come up, boom, locked in. Wow, what a time saver. We've got one cable running from the box to the head and one cable here. And this is just a twist lock. It's like a speak-on, I forget what they call it, but it just twists right on. You don't have to fiddle, try to figure it out. This one still has the same kind of, I don't know how many pins this is. This one still has the same 5-pin that goes up here, but they're completely different. So you don't have to sit there and count pins to figure out which one goes into which. It's really a nice design now. It looks better too. I like the red. It really, I honestly giggled when I opened it up. The packaging of it is a really nice hard case. Well, it's a hard soft case. So they've redesigned this. It's even more rigid than the 300D. Everything packs in nicely. It just goes in, and it's a pretty rugged case. Comes with a carrying strap. Pretty nice. So we are going to be putting it through its paces here over the next several weeks. I'm going to be taking it. I've got several jobs to run with it, so I'll be using it for some interviews. I'll be using it for, quite a few things. A lot of skits here. I've got some friends coming over, and we're going to see what we can accomplish just together. A bunch of people maybe consuming some beer, just kind of see what we can do there. Really looks awesome. You can tell from the design of this I mean, it is solid, solid, solid. They've spent some time making this thing better. I mean, just getting rid of the 2 boxes and going to an all-in-one, that's beautiful, 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 beautiful. Can't say enough good things about that. I am not biased. I will give you my honest opinion as I go. I mean, so far there's nothing that I've been like, wait, what? Everything's been an improvement on the 300D. And on the 300D, there was a couple of wait whats, like how to mount this to the C-stand. You have to use the straps. It's a little wonky. And, you know, they definitely listened and started making some improvements, and it shows. So I am really excited. I will be giving a complete and honest review as I go. I will be doing lighting breakdowns of everything that we do with this. We're going to be doing a one-on-one comparison on the 300 and the 300D and the 300D Mark II, just pitting them against each other, putting them in different scenarios and seeing how they perform. Yeah, this is going to be fun. And I do appreciate Aputure for reaching out and sending this over for me to really kind of run through its paces and share with you. And that's what I like, because that right there, that tells you a little bit about their company. They didn't tell me, hey, you need to give us a positive review. And quite honestly, if they had, I would have said, well, that's not how I do things, because it's not. They just said, we want you to tear it up. Just run it through the ringer and give us solid feedback on it. That's awesome. And that says a lot about that company. And I mean, if this goes the way it's headed right now with just the performance that I played with, I'm going to probably replace a lot of lights in my kit with several of these, because it's a one-stop shop. I mean, it dims all the way down to 1%, and it's really dim at 1%. So it is pretty nice. So, as always, if you have any questions or comments, do feel free to put them in the comment section down below. I do try to read and respond to each and every one, even if it's just to say thank you. Also, I do have a Patreon if you wish to support me that way. I do appreciate my Patreon supporters. In fact, if you want to see more stuff like this, please go out there to Patreon. Please just give $1 or $2 or $5 or $100 or $6,000 if you just feel like it. Help me help you. Wow, I feel like that's in a movie. Yeah, so also remember to click subscribe to this channel and the alert bell notification so you know when I'm uploading. And yeah, as always, don't let your passions center around your life. Let your life center around your passions.